Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Smash for this Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. This is a bonus episode. I'm Rick.
I'm Kelly.
We wanted to read some of your fantastic comments about our shows earlier this week, including this morning, which talked about masks primarily. There are a lot of you who feel very strongly about this point, that everyone said it wasn't okay for Kelly to criticize people. Everyone said it was okay to criticize Kelly for not wearing a mask. Like
Andy Cohen?
She was on the wrong side of history. Everyone came after her for not wearing a mask. They were wide open about it, right?
Well, I mean, just crazy. Like people, death threats. They were called Bill Bruno, our plastic surgeon friend in Beverly Hills. They called him threatening his life because he said that those masks don't work.
But if you
and Bravo called me, going nuts on me.
Yep.
And they're like, "What are you doing?" And people were going like crazy.
So it was okay for people to come after you for voicing your opinion about not wearing a mask. But when you go after someone now for wearing a mask, oh, you can't criticize someone for wearing a mask. Well, how come you could criticize Kelly for not wearing a mask? It's more hypocrisy, don't you think?
All the time.
And a lot of you agree.
Every day. So I really appreciate your comments. I read them this morning early. I am going crazy selling my clothes. I have so many clothes and so many shoes. It's and I get rid of it. It's not like I'm a hoarder, because I'm not. Yeah. I give buckets and buckets of stuff away.
Well, Jolie was talking about that, how you have so much stuff.
Yeah. But now that I'm not making the money that I did, I'm selling my clothes. I'm not giving them away anymore. I'm not. I'm even if it's like $5. Like, I'm just that way I can go and spend more money on new clothes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't worn something.
But I used to give all my clothes away, all of them, to all my friends, because you don't really get anything from it. But
here's some questions.
Something's better than nothing.
I agree with that. PA 5203. I never wore a mask. I was cussed out, yelled at, and constantly told off. I didn't judge people who did wear a mask, but like you, Rick, I did ask questions. Nothing wrong with the way you approach the lady behind the counter. If she is secure in her decision, then she wouldn't be defensive.
Right. But, honestly, to be all honest, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask.
But see, I agree, and I was just sharing information.
Right. But you can't change woke people, and that girl goes, I want to hear you say, don't say woke without a week without saying it. Well, I just said it, okay? But, like my niece Tatum, she thought that I was going to kill. I went to Aspen. I had my dad come out here to watch Jolie, and she went on social media and attacked me for not caring about my dad. Well, my dad, have you seen my dad? He looks like he's like 50 years old. Like that guy ain't going anywhere.
He's in great shape.
He's in great shape. But just shaming me and going on there saying that I don't care about my dad, that I'm going to kill him. And my dad ended up getting COVID later. Or no, he didn't even get COVID.
I don't think he ever got it.
But we had it when he was here, and he never got it. And then he got it later, I think.
One viewer said, we all have the right to speak our mind. If we hold back because it doesn't fit the agenda of the day or might offend someone, that's how our freedom of speech slips away each time.
It's so true. It's so, so true.
I'm sorry.
I had a lot of people talk about Dorinda and saying that she's a mean drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, I have to agree with that. I do.
Rangemaster said, not only did they fire you, they fined you. You are not bitter, you are honest. Plus, they needed a reason to bring HD back.
I totally agree with that. I 100%. They wanted to bring HD back. She wouldn't work with me. Yeah. So they had an excuse to fire me. But you know what? The best revenge was that they got really, really bad ratings. So makes me happy.
Carolyn Hooper says, be proud about speaking your mind and being fired. It worked out for the best, it seems. Your life appears happier now. My sister no longer speaks to me. Since my son got COVID in college, and she thought I wasn't sufficiently panicked about it, believing we were all doomed.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? We went to Rick's sister's house, and I'm not knocking your sister by any means.
Yeah.
But we went to a sister's house, and Rick goes, I thought she was like really, really smart. We went into her house, and they had masks on, remember?
They wanted us to wear masks in her house.
And we're like, we're not sick. Like, you know, but they were so afraid and so scared, and it's just.
And what we've now learned, based on studies, is that the masks only provide 5% of protection. Typically, 5%.
But you have to wear the N95s.
Which is negligible.
But you have to wear the N95s.
But even if you wear an N95, if you're in a public setting, you're not in a sterile hospital environment, it's a very different situation.
Yes.
And people are touching their masks. They're taking them off to eat, putting them back on.
You're touching your face more often, I think.
And the result, according to studies, is that the efficacy is basically negligible. Mm-hmm. Kelly and Rick, why are you even giving this mask stuff life again? Leave it alone and do as you wish, and people will do as they wish. As long as no one is hurting each other, life is too short to keep dwelling, says Pusscake1224. Stay cool. Peace out.
Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
It's fine. But we were talking about what happened. Someone commented. See, when people say, oh, you're talking about this, it's for example, people wrote a big, huge, bad article about me on that Screen Rant. It wasn't fair. It was unbiased. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Okay? This is my platform. I'm allowed to talk about something that is written about me. I don't like to talk about the housewives, but I don't also like to have somebody talk bad about me and say that I was a reason that the ratings were okay. They weren't okay. That was a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that how Andy Cohen came after me or doesn't like me or whatever.
No one's going to set the record straight except us,
right?
Apparently, on that topic. Wendy's loving life. I'm a rule follower and do what I'm told. So silly me went and got the 2 vaccines and then the booster and didn't get on a plane until July of 2022. I got a booster about a month before my first trip home to Canada from Southern California since COVID started. And guess what? I got COVID. Tested positive 3 days into my trip. So she had 3 shots.
Yeah. So did Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen had 3 shots and he got COVID. He got COVID 3 times, I think.
I was staying with my sister who was a doctor, and so I had to go spend the next 4 days in her basement feeling sorry for myself because I couldn't get the rest of her family sick. It was awful. Since then, I swore I wouldn't get any more vaccines or boosters because they didn't protect me from getting COVID, even though I followed all of the protocols to the T. The more time passes, the more I realize that you both were probably right.
You know, it was funny. We were watching this, The Last of Us, and I was like, where is that film? So we Googled it. It was
Alberta,
filmed
Canada.
in Alberta, Canada, during the pandemic. Could you imagine? That place, Canada, was shut down. You had to go into like some kind of like hotel situation where they were putting the food underneath the thing.
They said it was the largest production ever filmed in Canada. Largest, I think, TV production ever filmed in Canada. It was a year.
Yeah.
From like June of 21 to June of 22, somewhere along that time frame. The largest ever.
The largest ever.
So they must have just isolated everyone, and I'm sure they were doing testing and all that, but nobody's wearing masks on the show.
Right. But what I'm saying is Canada was like a dictatorship over there.
Yeah.
Like a dictatorship. I mean, things were shut down. Like they were making it sound like it was this movie, The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like you were going to be a zombie or you're going to die, or
yeah.
It was like
it was zombie apocalypse in New York City when we were there.
I know.
It was wild. This one from Whitney Davis. I do agree that masks affected children's education, mental health, and speech. People, and especially children, are resilient, as we know. However, the world had to do something during the pandemic. We would not be where we are now if we didn't. As you said, only 5%, well, it's better than nothing. We can agree to disagree, as you guys have mentioned. That's fine. We can agree to disagree. But 5% is negligible, according to the study. And some of the people in the study were suggesting that the results might have been worse than whatever good was done because of the inhibited learning and because of the emotional growth. For example, when we were in that Best Buy and talking to that clerk and she had the mask on, I had to struggle to understand because it was muffled and I don't hear very well.
Right.
But you also can't see facial expressions.
Yes.
And so much of what we do and what we learn about each other is based on our faces and our reactions to things. Mm-hmm. And if it's just this and just the eyes, you're hiding. You're hiding behind a shield.
But how are the little kids going to learn? That's the thing. these kids were not affected, and we knew this right from the get-go. And they were making these 5-year-olds wear masks. It was horrible. Horrible. I couldn't believe it.
This is the best one. From Gypsy Soul Pours, who's a regular viewer and commenter, and we appreciate you,
and she
Gypsy
got us
Soul
our
Pours.
beautiful, she made us that beautiful cheese board.
Oh, yeah.
Charcuterie board.
My views of many people I once thought were smart were forever changed in those 2 years. Quote, "It's just a mask. Save a life. Stop being selfish. You're killing the elders. Do your part." We haven't forgotten what you all did and said to us and our friends. You were on the wrong side of science, history, and politics. What you did to our children was not okay, and it's not forgiven.
Yeah.
I mean, how much have we learned and how much have things changed in just the past few months?
Right.
I mean,
but then you get those Karens. Karens. I don't know what it is. And it seemed like those people, I don't know, like when I lived in San Francisco, the ultra progressive left always try to tell you how to live your life.
oh, yeah.
They always try to tell you how to live your life. I don't know what that is, but it is.
Well, I have a feeling about what it is. It's clinging to that need to be right, still wanting to lecture you,
Right.
even though the facts and the data are now proving them wrong.
Right.
They still want to cling to that. Well, 5% is better than nothing. And look, we made a difference. It would have been so much worse. Actually, they're saying now that if you had COVID, it's better than the effect. You were better protected for.
But we
for
said that
40
all along.
weeks. Yeah,
we
we
said
did.
that all along, and people were coming after us.
Even Fauci said it.
science.
But even Fauci said it years before this about the flu. He's like, well, if you got the flu, you don't need the vaccine. You already had the flu.
How about Fauci said years ago that the mask is a feeling of protection. It's a psychological thing. It's an illusion that you're going to be protected, and that's what gives people like a security blanket.
Well, I think, again, a main point there is that, first of all, a lot of people weren't wearing the proper ones. They were wearing cloth.
Well, I was wearing my headband.
Yeah. And
my bandana.
and
Like I look like an outlaw.
and you're in the real world. You're not in a sterile hospital environment. I get why doctors and nurses wear them in the operating room and when they're seeing patients. I understand. They're trying to prevent germs.
And I understand if somebody's working close, to, like if you're like an esthetician or you're doing eyebrows or you're in a dentist office.
Yeah.
You don't want people spit getting into your eye or your
Right.
your here.
But then think about, like, you go to the grocery store. Okay, you go to the grocery store, you got your mask on, and you go and you start handling some vegetables and fruits and stuff, and you're like, I don't like that one. Let me get this one. How many other people touched that before you picked it up? And now whatever that was on their fingers is on your fingers because you picked up the same piece of fruit or vegetable. And now you touch your face, you're pulling your mask off. Are you kidding me? Like, it's ridiculous. You can't prevent the spread of germs in the real world.
You cannot prevent it. You have to wash your hands. That's it.
Yeah.
Washing your hands is the best. The best of the best is keep washing your hands. That's the way to get.
That's true, and that's a good lesson to keep with you.
Yeah.
To continue to wash your hands because it could be anything. It could be a common cold or a flu.
There used to be this song in Arizona when we were kids, and it was always on a commercial, and it used to go, "Wash your hands after going to the bathroom. Wash your hands after changing babies too. Because you don't want hepatitis. Hepatitis doesn't want to get on you."
Oh, I don't know if that's true.
Something like that. But it was like ingrained in your like psyche when you were a little kid to keep washing your hands.
If I was hepatitis, I'd want to get on you. For sure. I've been called Nosy Rosie, Marcia Rowehe said, since I was a kid because I ask questions. And for you to be penalized for asking questions at Best Buy is dumb.
Well, I won't be asking anybody why they're wearing a mask ever again. That's for sure, because it's none of my business. And I hate those kinds of people, like I just said. Those people are always trying to live your life. Yeah, those. San Francisco was full of them. It was crazy.
I just want to read one more. Nancy Correa. Who cares if someone wants to wear a mask?
You're right.
If it isn't affecting you, who cares? We should just mind our own business. Well, then you shouldn't care if she doesn't. And people shouldn't have cared and gone after Kelly for not wearing one. If you can't go after someone for wearing one, then you shouldn't be able to go after someone
who doesn't want to wear one
for not wearing one because they have their own reasons and their own beliefs, and it's their body and their choice.
Right.
So let's not be hypocrites here. And
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point.
Right. This is the whole point. Like that freaking Gavin Newsom idiot jerk off. He's like, oh, yeah, everybody has to wear masks. You can't have more than 4 people at Thanksgiving. What is that? You freaking, and then over here he's hanging out. Control.
He went to the French Laundry.
He went to the French
with
Laundry.
a group of 12 people.
He was hanging out with Magic Johnson at a game without a mask.
Yep.
See? Do as I say.
Do
as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
You know? Control. And as soon as people seeing that your civil liberties are getting taken away from you, all these little things, big government starts to come in, then you're in trouble.
We're going to leave it there because we have a bunch of errands to run. And I want to get this out there for you guys.
I gotta go take my clothes to the in Costa Mesa, twice.
Called Twice?
Yeah, it's on 17th Street.
If you're in Costa Mesa, California,
Go to Twice.
you can check out some of Kelly's clothes. You can buy some of Kelly's clothes as seen on TV.
Exactly, as seen on TV. Yeah.
All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Bye-bye.